Welcome back, and before going on to the break, we were having a very interesting conversation about the cross-pollination of ideas, people, movement, goods and whatnot, right?
And today, a movement of such sort, yes.
And Shahzad was enjoying this movement a lot, especially in the break. But now coming back to our topic, which is a very interesting topic because I think every other person is affected by this topic, which is about the spine healthcare and exercises. And the matter of the fact is, Shahzad, that now we are so used to or attuned to doing our work on the laptops, in front of the screens. It has becoming a part of a very integral part of our lifestyle that obviously we do suffer some sort of spine pain. And especially people like me who are suffering from a condition called scoliosis, where there is a hump in your spine. So you need to take care of a lot of things when it comes to that, right? And to have this more conversation and develop it further, and why not ask from someone who's an expert in this and how we can take care of the spinal issues, cares, and through exercises, because I think the best remedy to alter that fallacy when it comes to the spinal care is exercise.
And not just that, I think it's weight reduction as well, because a lot of people who are overweight, ladies and gentlemen, complain a lot about this spine pain as well. But since we have an expert in terms of exercising and how your posture needs to be, ladies and gentlemen, we're very lucky that we've been joined by Miss Ayesha Khawaja, who happens to be a yoga instructor. Hello, assalamu alaikum, good morning. How are you feeling today? How's your spine?
Great, alhamdulillah.
Well, that's wonderful. So thank you so much for joining us. And it's a grief problem. Majority of the Pakistanis actually suffer from it. I've underwent backbone surgery myself, L4-5 disc prolapse, and it was all because of deadlift and not knowing what the right posture is. And for everybody who's out there, ladies and gentlemen, if you're not going to start your workout with the warm-up and then not with the right postures, unfortunately you can damage it. So may it be squats, may it be deadlifts, these are those exercises which can really put you in trouble.
Or maybe for the people especially who are working on the laptops, and especially whose work is related to that, they do not have an option in this regard, right? So they have to sit 8 or 9 hours straight in front of their PCs, laptops, and you are slouching a lot. So how do we take care of our backs in such a hectic routine where our entire lives are geared towards working with the laptops and computers and the screens and whatnot? So how to take care of that, Miss Ayesha?
Thank you so much for having me here, and I'm really glad that you have brought it up. You are also suffering from this disease, and you are also having this condition.
Alhamdulillah, I'm good now.
Alhamdulillah. So actually, I also have this condition which is called severe spinal stenosis, and that's why I'm into yoga and into fitness, and I do a lot of exercise. I have to learn this lifestyle. So it's a lifestyle change that you have to go for if you want to stay healthy.
So what are those lifestyle changes that you've made to your life, making sure that you're not going to suffer from any other pain in terms of when we speak of spine?
Yeah, so like when we want to make a lifestyle change, it has to first of all nutrition, exercise, and there is another thing I must say, mindset and water intake. So we have never heard of having water intake is important for the spine as well. It's really important for your spine health, to stay hydrated. So that's why you may have noticed that during Ramadan, or if we are fasting and we are not having enough water, we feel a lot of body aches and pains, and it triggers it.
Exactly. And thank you so much for mentioning that, because I kind of recommend it to a lot of people in my gym as well, because for example, if somebody's working out and all of a sudden they have a cramp, the first thing I tell them is to have water. And it's just because of the fact that we do not realize how at times our bodies are not really hydrated, and we haven't really consumed a lot of water for the muscles to be hydrated as well, because it's not just the body consists of muscles and everything. So we really need to make sure that you have good amount of hydration in your body,
and it should
then
be
work
like
out.
Lukewarm water, have it in sips, and
while working out.
How many glasses do you recommend, especially in summers, because we get a lot of
at least 3 liters, right?
Yeah, exactly. Depends on your weight, but 3 liters is a very
I think I consume more than that. Yes.
Oh, really interesting.
So so that's number 1, hydration. Number 2 is
nutrition, that you have to eat healthy, because it all depends on your blood flow. Whatever you are eating, it goes in your blood, it becomes your blood. So it's important to stay healthy, because that's how your body works. And it responds to whatever we are eating. If I'm having a lot of fast food, obviously I can't stay healthy. And then I believe in gentle movements. If you are having backache, or if you are feeling that there is some weakness in the muscles, move. It is important to move. And you know, I have noticed that here we have this myth that if you are having backache, you just have to take rest and just lie down, don't move.
Yes.
It should not be like this. I think gentle movement is the key.
Yes.
True.
Yeah. So you have to move gently
True.
and take your time, you know, and go for workout, but be gentle with yourself. This is very important. People, they think, okay, बहुत सारा hit workout कर लिया, so I'm staying healthy.
Right.
Maybe for certain age group, it's not so good.
Right.
True.
So
and overexerting is not good. So imagine that, you know, the total volume of exercise you need to do in a day needs to be somewhere around 27 to 28%, not more than that. And please make sure that, you know, whenever you're lifting weight, you lift weight which you can lift with control. You know, so you're not just pulling it. And I would like to share an example. If I'm wrong, Ayesha ji, you can actually kind of recommend over here as well. So imagine what happens is that most of the time, I can come over here as well for people to better understand. For example, if it's a deadlift, you know, so we go into the figure, what happens is that we slouch and then we pick up. Rather, your back needs to be really straight, your chest needs to be out, and then you do it, right? So, and you do it in a way where you actually have a lot of control. And same goes for the squat. So, when you have it on top, you know, if the weight is more, what happens is that your center of gravity changes and it twists your spine as well, and that can be literally dangerous.
this,
Please.
I think, excellent
demonstration, physical demonstration,
and you know, it's really important. We are in a certain angle that we are overloading our back.
True.
So it's important, and even we are at home and we are trying to lift anything, and we are going forward bending or you're twisting your back. That sometimes triggers your back.
And every time we have to lift something off the floor, what we need to do is that we need to sit down. You know, so
you
imagine it's not that you lean down as well. And in addition to that, because when I got my surgery done, my surgeon actually shared a very interesting fact with me, and I would want you to kind of speak about it as well. And that is that, you know, because we spoke about how people, you know, because of their jobs on laptops and desks and whatnot, keep on sitting for more than 8 hours and 10 hours a day, and they slouch. So my doctor told me that when you sit for 30 minutes, you know, your half of your body weight is on your spine. And then he said that, you know, when you sit for 1 hour, the body weight doubles. And, you know, that's exactly what happens after every half an hour. So, you know, imagine that if somebody has been sitting for 4 hours, 5 hours, how much weight the spine is already kind of bearing with. So what they recommend is that you get up, you know, walk for a minute or 2 minutes, and then come back and sit down so that it neutralizes the impact on your spine. So make sure that you're releasing that stress onto your spine because of the body weight. I think that's something which everybody needs to be careful about.
If you're sitting for long hours, just interlace your fingers and rounding your back and reaching out like this. So it's a good stretch, and then we are going to exhale here and inhale, and your back should be like a wave. Here, inhale, and then
And we do see a lot of stretches on internet these days.
And while like you're sitting, you can just move it. So keep moving it, you know.
वो फिर अम्मी कहती है बेटा तुम्हें क्या चल रहा है, तुम क्यों हिल रहे हो, हर वक्त हिलते ही रहते हो.
But especially if you're in the offices, if you're in the corporate culture, you may not find it, I mean, I don't know, appropriate doing such sort of stretching. Because there's so many people who are sitting there, right? So Ayesha, for the people who have a very tough job, corporate jobs, and they do not get the time to do such sort of stretches, what sort of life changes you recommend to those people? Because obviously they have to go to their jobs in the first place.
So hydration, nutrition, and gentle movement we've spoken about. If there's anything else.
We are mentioning that it's important to move. So even if you have a very hectic schedule and you can't manage it, but I think every one of us can take out 15 minutes, 10 minutes, even during your break, before going for the lunch, you can try out some stretches.
For example, would you mind sharing some stretches with us?
Yes, I have done this one. This is called seated cow and cat in yoga. Here, sorry, exhale here, inhale, and it's like a wavy movement.
Something like twisting your back as well?
And here, and here. And then we have some yoga poses. Cobra pose is highly recommended. It's also recommended by the physiotherapist. You can start off with the baby cobra, and then cobra jawan ho jata hai. Go for the full cobra.
What's the baby cobra?
Baby cobra is when you're on your forearms, and the full extension is like your hands are on the mat. And you're in a backward bend.
I get that. So you
it's a backward bend. And then
it really, I
mean,
like pulls a lot of stretches in your body.
So for anybody who's out there, so you put your arms over here. That's the best demonstration. You know, I'm wearing an expensive suit today, so I cannot lie down on the floor. And then, you know, you stretch your back. That's it. And you're lying down face down.
And you should be gentle loading on your back.
True.
So be mindful about this thing.
And people who experience lower back pains, because a lot of people do experience a lower back pain, what sort of stretches or lifestyle changes do you recommend for those
And
people?
lower back pain, once again, you know, can be because of mental stress as well. That's something which people need to understand.
Yes, and
always
maybe for some other reason.
It's a mental stress that triggers it.
But
maybe sometimes, you know, a wrong move may also trigger it.
Yes.
You know, imagine that, exactly. So imagine that, you know, you go out, you know, you go inside your house, you know, which is a colder place, even then you can experience such a thing as well, you know. So the temperature outside was hotter, go outside, you were already sweaty, you know, so muscle spasms can actually be a core reason. So physiotherapy can help for that.
During winters, people feel they are not feeling well.
But the body is not breathing.
Or maybe for some other reasons, you know, if they have the weight, or maybe for example in my condition, because of the scoliosis, I often feel lower back pain. So what sort of lifestyle changes do you recommend me?
Actually, keep exercising, gentle movement, and there are certain poses that are really helpful. So there are certain stretches that if you keep your hands on the wall and keep your back super straight.
Okay.
So you have to maintain a gap.
And for how longer do you recommend for, I mean in a day, for how many hours or how many minutes to have to do all of these stretches?
20 to 25 minutes, and 30 minutes is good enough, 5 days a week.
Okay,
so it will stay healthy.
Exactly, and just, you know, simple movements, delicate movements, not going too aggressive about it. Because what happens is usually if you're listening to a very adrenaline rush sort of a song, you know, you're like, okay, I'm going to do this no matter what happens. And that's when you're more injury prone as well. And I would want people to never kind of get into ego lifting, because what happens is that if you're doing bench press, you know, probably whatever weight it is, and there's somebody else who's physically more stronger than you and he's lifting more weight or she's lifting more weight, what happens is that all of a sudden we get into ego lifting and we do not certainly have control. And I at times explain it to people that it's just like how probably if we are driving our car at 60 kilometers per hour, we make sure that, you know, that we feel like as if the car is in our control, right? God forbid you cross 100, you see that, you know, okay, God forbid if something's going to happen now, you know, it's out of my control. Even though that it's never in our control, it's in Allah's control. We always pray to Allah Almighty, but that's the kind of a feeling.
Solid point,
So everybody needs to kind of make sure that you're not wobbly with your, you know, movements. You really need to kind of look forward to a trainer, hire a trainer, because, you know, imagine that the amount of bills you're going to pay to the doctor, it's best that you actually hire a trainer.
I was about to say that.
Because it's going to be cheaper too as well. And the hydration bit, obviously in summers, it's very important. And
it's
then
really important.
There's this one myth which I would want to talk about, and they say that, you know, when this weather of, I don't know, what do we call it in English, because in English the weather names are only 4 to 5. So they call it Savan Badu, something of that sort.
Monsoon.
So what they say is that you shouldn't really be exercising in monsoon. Is that true, or is it still a myth?
I don't think so. It's true. I think we should be moving. But
is there any extra impact of monsoon onto your muscles or onto your body because of humidity, water retention?
I haven't seen any research on anything like that. So there is no research.
And that's exactly what I say to everybody else. That okay, you know, you do not want to exercise, you should come up with a better excuse.
And like everyone says that if you are having backache, you should take rest. Don't move. If you go abroad, the physiotherapist, they will tell you to move, but gentle and progressive loading. So progressive loading is really important, that you gradually increase the weight even while we are doing exercises. So if you are starting, like for example with the cobra, start off with the baby cobra and then progress it to the full extension. So it's important.
Right, that's a wonderful advice, and especially for those people who have, I mean, whose entire lifestyle is very attuned to the corporate sector or maybe to the mobile. And nowadays, I think we need to make a lot of lifestyle changes, and there's a lot of conversation surrounding it, right, Shahzad? Because we have seen that how this corporate culture is badly affecting a lot of people who are involved in that. We've seen
it's a vicious cycle.
It's a vicious cycle, of course, because you go there at the 9 and then you come back.
At 9.
I mean, it's 9 to 6, but the return time is when your boss allows you, right? And often is more than 6, right? And after they come back, they don't have time or energy to do the yoga or any exercise.
And you know, there's one more point to it, and that is that, you know, within this corporate culture, you've highlighted the best point where you've hit the nail on the head. And the sole reason I'm saying so is that imagine that within those offices, you will get a gym. You'll get a treadmill, you'll get the best cafes, but you never have time to go to the gym.
Exactly, because you're so busy.
But if you can take out just 10 minutes,
No, but they don't let you.
Yes, they don't let
what the
you
problem
off.
is. They don't, and even if they're going to give you 10 minutes, you want to go get some fresh air rather than doing some extra work.
Exactly, and then you have to do your work at home because you have, skip those 10 minutes. And you talked about how vicious that circle is. So it's very important.
It's always about targets, achieving those targets and whatnot, and they're always after that.
And making profits and whatnot. So it's very important that you look after yourself. Make sure that you are healthy, because we always say that prevention is always better than cure, right?
दुनिया के काम चलते रहते हैं, but you have to stay healthy.
Exactly.
You are not
prioritize yourself.
You are not indispensable.
Yes.
Prioritize yourself. Jaan hai to jaan hai. But thank you so much, Miss Ayesha, for being with us. Lovely to be in conversation with you, and for everybody who's out there, ladies and gentlemen. Obviously, there's this first flight, direct flight, leaving on Saturday from Lahore to Kazakhstan. If you want to be on the plane, please make sure that you book yourself a ticket. Not just that, because it's a 2-hour flight, please make sure that if you get a chance to get up, so that you release all the tension on your spine. Until next time, ladies and gentlemen, look after yourself, because
Shehzad, so we also have a birthday coming up, and that is of our senior executive producer, Jamshed Sultan Saab. So we want to wish him a best of luck for his coming years, and happy birthday to you, Jamshed Saab. May you have many more. So
and he's one of those people, Haja, that when I actually came to PT World for the very first time, he was always very supportive. He taught me quite a lot of things. And he's that one person who taught me how personal, how making sure that that for all of those contacts you're going to have will be around you. So he will always send you an Eid Mubarak message. He will always be out there remembering you.
Yes.
And he's one of the finest souls I've ever met.
I think as a person, he respects you a lot, especially, so for example, I remember I went with him to DI Khan for the reporting, and obviously it's an experience that I will never forget, because I learned a lot from there. So he made sure that I was comfortable there, because the environment was not very conducive as it is in the studios, right?
Exactly.
So
and I love it, how rich he is, mashallah, always into cars, and because we love cars, he's driving a BMW these days, alhamdulillah. He's making a lot of money, and that's what we want for you, sir. We want you to make a lot of money and then spend it on us. Happy Ash Day to you,
Happy birthday to you.
Have a great day ahead. Have a great life. You're a great addition to our family.
And after that, I think we are heading towards a very amazing treat with the birthday cake. So until next time, it's a goodbye, Allah Hafiz, and good morning.
Have a great day.